So now in this video, we have a couple resistors. One resistor I used in my last video, 10 million ohm resistor. So when I saw the color code, I thought I might have the wrong value, but I was thinking millions of ohms, you'd have a yellow band, but that is less than 10 million. You know, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, so on. You would have a yellow band. It makes sense for 10 million to have a green band, but also the color basically looked exactly the same as a 150 ohm resistor if you just turn the resistor around when you're looking at the resistor color code. And first thing we will do is if you're not sure the value of a resistor, obviously you take a multimeter, or a ohm meter would be used if that's all it does is measure resistance. Multimeter measures many things. There's no polarity. Doesn't matter what side we put the probes on. I don't know how well you're gonna see it, and when I'm trying to make my measurements off from the distance, sometimes I can put it in the wrong slot. Not sure exactly where the pin is, but yeah, that's in millions of ohms, mega ohms. It was saying 11 million earlier, and we'll zoom in, but yeah, you can see a little mega on top. Looks like that's where it wants to start off, because it's auto ranging right there. So you just have one where you set a dial, it pops up quicker. But that's mega ohms. We'll measure the one below it is 150 ohms, and yeah, I did notice that was like 11 million ohms, even though it said 10 million. So I don't know if that's the multimeter's off a little bit, or if it's not actually 1% tolerance, even though it has a brown band for 1% tolerance. But there you can see, basically 150 without any like mega or kilo or anything before the omega symbol. It's just 150 ohms, you know, not a perfect 150 ohms. Plus, my the way I'm measuring may throw it off a little bit. You always have to take that into account. I'm pushing the probe on there, and so, you know, this isn't a solid connection either. You know, you slide the component in or out. That may affect the measurement, but we saw top one is 10 million. And we have it right there. So hopefully that color, those colors are showing up on camera pretty good. And I'll move around because you never know where, how it's going to look the best. But in any case, we got brown, black, black, green right there. So we have the opposite right here. And normally when it comes to the tolerance band, so that's brown for 1. It might be 1% higher or lower than its rated value. And it looks like this one's off. That's also 1%. But I can't tell which side has the band farther away. This actually looks like the side where the band is farther away. So if I just had to guess, I would guess that is the tolerance band. We already saw this was 150, and so I'm going to turn it around, and we'll see that it's the exact same color code, even though vastly different, you know, if you put it in the wrong way. There's the exact same color code. Because, you know, there is that gap there, but there's also the gap there. So maybe it kind of depends on the angle I have it, where it looks like which band is farther away. But yeah, that looks pretty far away compared to that one. Like, I think they're the same distance, actually. So, like, I can't tell which one is the tolerance band there. I believe that one's a little bit farther, but again, not terribly far. You know, these 4 on the left there are not, you know, bunched together with a gap going over there. They're all, you know, relatively evenly spaced, it looks like, even though the tolerance does look a little bit farther. So, you know, if the color code is the same, just, you know, in reverse or whatever, you may not always be able to tell. Now, one thing is, if I look at this color code, I almost never use a resistor in the 10 million ohm range. You know, 10 million up to below 100 million, you know, any of those numbers. I almost never use it. In fact, this is, I think, my highest value resistor that I have completely, 10 million ohm right there. So if I saw this color code on either of these, I would probably assume it's 150 ohm, just because I use it, you know, a fair amount. You can see the other ones that I got here. So at some time I probably needed like multiple ones. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I must have made a circuit where I needed a lot of 150 ohm resistors. And so, you know, I use these quite a bit. This 10 million ohm one, this may only be like the 3rd time that I used one. And looks like I actually have like a couple down there. I hope I didn't accidentally put the wrong ones in there. So yeah, maybe I did. Maybe I needed 30 million ohms, so I put them in series. And maybe I wanted a third of this resistance for whatever reason. And so I put 3 in parallel. And so I don't know. But yeah, definitely I use 150 a lot more often. So I would assume that was the color code. But yeah, that is it. You know, kind of a long video for this topic, but that was just the main lesson. You know, you may not always know which side is the multiplier. If they're brown on both sides and they're these blue resistors and stuff, you may be able to narrow it down that, you know, there maybe the second one is always a certain color where it's never the multiplier or something. You may be able to use that, but then again, in this example, I don't think there's any good way to know if you have it backwards. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out one of the other videos I'm posting on the screen, and check out the links down below. They all help a lot. I'll see you in the next video.